Neat. Always a
I
pleasure. Always a pleasure. I'm excited.
I am too. I was telling Hilda, I'm like, this color suits you so much.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
love it on you. All right.
Well, I was just, as I was telling you, we have fall in our midst here in terms of colors because the leaves are there's a real reflection in the leaves. You got your
Yes.
then your yellows and your oranges, and so this orange today is a reflection because it is a perfect day here, temperature wise, all of that good stuff. So yeah, and we've had rain, which was so greatly needed. So
That's good. That's good.
vision.
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah, the leaves are starting to change color here too. Um and it's beautiful actually. It's a beautiful day. No
It is.
rain. We don't get rains here that often. I
You
know
don't
you
get,
like
you
rains.
don't get rain. No,
Not
no.
really, not much, you know.
We seem to be paralleling this year because uh
I think you needed it, right? Because of the
oh,
fires.
yeah, it is like it was we were parched, like parched is in our like but anyway,
Yeah,
the season is continuing to change,
absolutely.
and so are we.
So are we. Yes. So welcome to today's conversation, Hilda. Like always, it's a pleasure.
Yes,
And today's topic is about touch. And it is one of the human basic sensations. I think it's the first thing as a baby that we first feel because we can't see very well. And it's the human touch, our mother's touch, that um, I guess is life and death because that's all we knew in the womb, right? As well.
it's the first
Um,
of communication.
First form of communication, absolutely. And I think this topic is relevant because I was noticing that i- it's almost like it's a very basic human need, and as we grow up, we are taught to sometimes be this hyper independent person, and but we forget that being a human, we still need this. And so, and then it comes out in weird ways, right? And that's what we're going to discuss about a little bit today
Absolutely.
with the beautiful Hilda from Warrior Aunties 177, I think. That's her. That's her
I think that, but it's
handle.
Nova Scotia's Organic to the Land Stories.
Yes, that's the channel name.
Yeah,
It's all linked below. I think I have linked
yeah, yeah.
um it below. But yeah, let's talk about it. Um, what do you think, Hilda, is what do you think that a simple hug can do for you when you're having a bad day? Has it
Oh,
helped you in the past?
absolutely, absolutely. Um, you say, what can it do for you? It can change the whole trajectory. It definitely changes the energy, and
Mm,
it is needed. And when I tell you it is needed, it is especially needed right now because of the fact that we are in a time period of where, you know what, people are very anxious, people are very uncertain, and people are dealing with tons of stuff that they are not able to necessarily articulate or put verbiage to. However,
mm,
they're dealing with it and they're getting up, they're going
mm.
to work, they're raising their children, they're going through the motions of shit, and they are not really expressing. And so you ask me, would that person need a hug? Fuck, more than anything? Absolutely. Because I'm going to show you how that's going to come out. When it is not addressed, It's
mm,
going to come out like this: passive aggression, or just
mm,
straight up, you know what, being short. Um, 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 I see that as being really the biggest thing in performance, because depending on what your programming was
mm,
and how early, I say performance because you know what, um, if
mm,
affection was not something that was displayed in your environment, especially at an early age, it didn't mean that you didn't need it. It just
yeah.
means that you know what, you found a way. You started to program your mind in the sense that um, that's when you start listening to your own autonomy and started allowing yourself to become a part of a collective, which means you didn't feel. You didn't acknowledge what it was that you would have been feeling. My whole point being, before I lose my point, because you asked me what the importance of a hug is, what a hug can do with all of that is this. As I said, it can change the whole trajectory. It can soften what is hardened. It
Mm,
can diffuse what is about to explode. It can just it can affirm it can affirm that you know what, you are worthy.
mm,
We all need that. We all need that at some point. So that would be my uh, long but yet short answer to your question. And I say that so strongly because you know what, I'm going to tell you something. Not only do I receive hugs, but I know the importance when I give a hug. I know the importance, and I can tell by there's an energy exchange that goes on there with that. You take when you go to hug somebody. They either draw in or they draw away, and there's something you can tell that's going on there that says, you know what, I'm not used to human contact like that. I'm not used to being touched. I'm not used to being vulnerable. I'm not used to, because it can
yeah,
invoke so many things. So when you
that
talk
is
about
true.
a hug, oh, fuck yeah. Girl, I can have this conversation because you know what? I've been on all ends of the spectrum, coming from an arena of in which, you know what, it was not on the table. It was not on the table. And not only that, but what was on the table was for me, quite the opposite. Yet I was craving that. I can remember craving just wanting to be on my mother's lap because I saw my younger sister there, because I meant that it was close to my mother, but not. And I don't ever remember. But, anyways, I don't want to make this just about me. It was just one question.
No,
It's,
it's not. It's actually true. And before I move on, welcome everyone on here. Hi Charlotte. Hi Marie. Welcome.
I,
Um, hope you're well. Uh, it's Friday today. Yes, it's Friday. Um, but interestingly, that I have always been labeled the best hugger, even when I was in school. People would be like, "Just come to take, get a hug from me." And I think it's because it's interesting when you said that. You said you didn't get it and that you actually love giving hugs, right?
absolutely.
It's so interesting how it comes out as because I don't remember being a person who wanted physical touch very much growing up. And I think that is because it was not part of, my upbringing very much. Um, we especially compared to North America, I was sent to school when I was just 2 years old, and it was and I think that was, I still remember that day when, um,
I think
when
that
I went to school. What is
that
that?
I think that that is sad. We're sending our
I know.
children. When I listen, I think that that is the
I know.
most insidious thing that we do with
I
our.
know.
And listen, I know why the programming is in place. Well, if you don't, I know why, and we'll talk about that. But you think about that. It just
Yeah,
ooh,
it's just at such a young age, you're basically um taught to be independent. And it is actually a part of the culture. Like people are like, oh, look at that, look at our child. They go to the bus by themselves and like all of that. And I think I think I was caused I mean, I was feeling like I needed help, but I did not know how to ask for it. And of course, being a child, you barely know what you're going through. And then I think it was very systemic. And so that's why it took me a long time to finally understand that yes, I do need human touch. And yes, it's normal. Um, and I think I don't know about your experience. I think you did share a little bit, but I don't even remember like any of my extended family or anybody in my family. Like, and also good touch and bad touch, like no idea, no freaking clue because like there's no concept. You see,
I'm gonna tell you. When I
it
said
is
that, you were just talking about a hug, and I was thinking, that can mean different things. Because sometimes when I hug a person, it means this: I got you. I understand you. And you know what? And listen, everything's gonna be all right. And then that hug can mean another hug can mean, oh my God, I appreciate you. I appreciate this moment. Two very necessary.
yeah. I don't I don't remember like, and I think as I grew older, I realized that I really enjoyed giving people hugs, and I would actually hug my mother, and and like you said, like hug is just not physical. It's a very active energy exchange. And she would be like, leave me, like, leave me. Like, I think our energy sometimes can repulse theirs, or it can be too much for their system too. And she still does that. She's like, I am a very like slow, gentle, like take my time, that kind of hug person. I'm not like a give it and leave. And this is just one form of touch, right? That there's a handshake, there's a pat on the back, there's just so many different types of touch, and they really do make a difference. And I think at this point of my life, I'm actually unlearning all of that and actually teaching myself this language, this very basic human language again, consciously. Because again, unconsciously, we still, because it's a human need. So we will make it work for ourselves, but in very weird ways, like addictions, like habits which are not helpful. So it will come out. Why not take care of it consciously, right? And that's why this topic, sorry.
And I'm just thinking of like, because when you think about it and yeah, the need for human touch and its importance, I tend to think, okay, so when there's a lack of what is it that we're seeing? Well, we see a lot of the adverse effect when there's not human touch. Like well, you just mentioned one, like addiction is one. A craving for attention is another. There's if you look
Oh
on,
my God, yes.
there is a plethora of examples of what I look and I say, whoa, um, you you didn't get it. You didn't get it. Um, my whole point
Yeah.
is that the importance, once again, of the topic, but what are the reasons? Because I think that, you know what, when we look at um, changing anything, changing anything, well, first of all, why are we changing? Because there's a lack of it. Why is there a lack of it? And when you look at why there's a lack of it, then you got to say why. So what are some of those reasons? And I think
Hmm.
it goes deeper than
It does.
it. It's I go right back to patterns. Everything's about patterns. And if you look back at the pattern in your history, because you could look up at your foundation, what was your
Yeah.
first association with that? And then I'm just yielding this from my own experience and my own upbringing. I know what I experienced, but I can also go back and look at how I experienced my mom and look back at what her experience was. It wouldn't have been a nurturing experience. In fact, it would have been one experience of more of survival. So my mom came from a place of, first of all, she didn't do well to hugs. She didn't do well to affection, especially like outward affection in public affection. She did
Oh
not
yeah.
did that. She did not do that well. Her and my father. Oh my goodness. My point being is why that was because I mean, my God, you know that we're getting affectionate some ways because after all that many children, somebody was getting affectionate. Somebody was hugging. Somebody was doing something, right? But my point being is, why was it not something that she felt that she was able to express outside of the bedroom? Why is it that she felt it
Yes.
to receive the hug outside of the bedroom, which was just, which tells me, that's something about conditions and conditioning and self programming too, right? Depending on
Right.
what that experience would have been. So I don't want to get too far off into it because that could go real deep, depending on, but you just got to look at the situation and know that it's coming from somewhere.
Oh, definitely. Before we go further, in chat, Marie says, "Wow,
I
Ravneet, that's so young to
is
start school at 2." So actually, I was born in February, and the schools start differently than here. They start in April, I think. So I might have been put to school like a little bit admitted early than the norm because of the month of my birth month, you know. So that's why. But usually it's like 3, I think. Um,
let
and
I tell you, they start us off in preschool here too at 3. But
And
my
it was preschool. It was not like school. It was like those, whatever, the play school, whatever they're called. I don't remember now. But still, I think it was shocking for me. I realized that I went quieter and quieter as I grew up. That's how I know.
yeah,
And Marie says, I taught my dog to give hugs and is the cutest thing ever. Oh my God. Okay, pets, definitely. I mean, I use them for touch too, like my pet. Yeah, she's definitely gives me a lot of emotional support.
it is
Um,
essential. I think that listen, it is essential if you want to make it through. Um, a pet, a pet can, you know what, whether it's a cat, a dog, cat and a dog, and I use those two animals as an example because of the fact that you touch, they're touching you. It is something that's happening. It is changing your whole chemical balance. You know, it's balancing things out. It's balancing out the energy. All of that is taking place, and sometimes, you know what I'm going to tell you, it is um, more powerful than that of a human. I will say that in my own personal experience. Not that human is not important and not that I'm weighing them out there, but I'm saying there's a variable difference and it is a level of importance. And for all you non animal lovers, Um, I don't want to tell you. You need to examine.
Well, I'll tell you my experience, right? Because I was a major, I did not have a pet growing up. It was actually not even an option because my mother lost two dogs when she was young, and it was traumatic for her. So
Mm,
we didn't get to experience that either. So when we grew up, my brother got a cat, and then um, I did not until that's just me. I take my due time. And then I was like, okay, I will get a cat as well. But she she really changed me so much, and I learned so much from her because she's not afraid. I think cats have a reputation of being aloof. No, she's not at all. She loves touch. She loves to play. She opened me up so much emotionally. And I think that's what pets do, especially in today's world where human to human interaction is like so conditional. You have to pay the other person to, touch you. And I'm just saying, like it's just really isolated. So pets are a great way to get that connection, but I think we should start interacting with more humans and people like us. That's the way to go. We don't want to end up with like 10 pets, you know what I mean? Like
I think
that's
that pets are brought into our lives because they become a part of our assignment to help us get through, not be the beginning and the end all. And for people that, have 10 dogs and, want to rescue every animal, there's something unhealed there. That's, I
yes.
save, that's no different than, what trying to save every human being. And you know what that looks like. My whole point being is this, is that, that's not taken away from the fact that I think that each animal that comes into our lives comes in for a reason to teach us something, to help us along our journey in terms of like maybe it is just for because you've been closed off. That part of your chakra is closed. They help to open that up. Um,
It's interesting. It is really interesting to see the pattern. I'm not at all bashing. I think we are not at all bashing people who have pets, but it's something to think about that if we have issues connecting with fellow humans for whatever reason, but we are okay to connect with pets, I think we lost the point. I think we did lose the point. And we need to then go back and check what are the kind of people we're interacting with. Because I think ultimately that's another kind of bypassing. And no matter how much our pets can understand, but like that human to human connection is very different.
but that brings me to the point. Why do they do that? About safe. If you often talk to, if the most of the people that I talk to that carry that experience, it says because I feel more safer with my pets. My point being is if you didn't take the time to deal with that fracture, that, that, that of in which makes you feel unsafe, so that you could re enter the world again, you are going to stay with just pets. My whole point being is you got to get back on the
And
horse.
that's why we feel lonely. Why do we feel lonely then? We have pets. We should
Right,
be okay.
right.
But that because they can only meet us at a certain level, you see?
As I said,
Um,
it's there to help nurture you
they
along.
do.
They ain't there to
They
be beginning and
they
end all. And
they do.
um, they can create a beautiful experience. If you have never experienced motherhood and you want to know what it's like to give that unconditional love
Yeah.
on a level, then they will provide you with that experience. Depends on how it is that you want to look at that experience. If you feel like you know what, that is my protector, and that's the beginning and end all, then you will see it as that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? That when I say that they come to serve, they come to serve.
I think it's also because I'm now trying to link different things here. If we have had issues with our father growing up, or our masculine is not healed, um, or there are issues connecting with the masculine in our life, which is most probably our father, we will have a hard time finding a partner, or we'll have issues with partners because in the relationship with your father, if there's no accountability, you will think that's how the partner will be too. And the problem is, and which was a pattern for me as well, but then I'm realizing now is that not a problem, but a pattern rather, is that a partner, you need the partner is that they will not know everything and they will not be perfect, but it's about working out things together. That's the whole point. And maybe we did not get that mirrored in our relationship with our father, which is why we unconsciously think all men are like this. Or if we had issues connecting with our mother, then it will show up in sisterhood and it will show up in friendships. We will feel like that's how women are. And even it's almost like what we believe, we keep attracting that. It is true. I mean, that's what I've seen until I started questioning. It's almost like when you think that, for example, I want an Audi, right? Car Audi, right? The German car. I'll start seeing Audis everywhere. Why is that?
Yes.
That's how it works. It's not like positive and negative, and that's something to experiment with. It's not like you are saying, no, it doesn't exist, but like, what do you want? What do you want? Right? And that's why it's important to see that that was just one person. Maybe it was your mother or your sister or your father, but it was just one person. It does not mean that the rest of the billions of trillions of people are the same, you know?
It brings, yeah, I do know, and it brings me to a very, very good point, because really what you're saying is this. First of all, I have to give myself permission to acknowledge the fact that I do crave human touch. And that, you know what, I'm going to tell you,
Yes.
you know what, I can't walk around here thinking that, you know what, I'm going to make it through this life without it. It is something that is it's essential. And so, what do I mean by that? That doesn't always come with just a man, or in terms of a relationship. It means I got to create it inside
Yeah.
my environment. So if I'm not getting it, then I need to find ways of creating that. And that, like you just said, it can be hugging the uh, neighbor in your neighborhood. Not only just that you go out there and just start hugging people, but my point being is to be open to it. Because when you don't feel that, you know what, if you are blocked and shut down to that particular point, then there's a wall also, which is also stopping you from getting that um, affection and all of that you need. Because as I said, yes, it is great to have the um, intimate um, 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 version of affection and touching, and that comes inside of an intimate relationship, but it comes from so many other areas. Do you understand? Where we can also cut ourselves off, going right back to the person, like I said to you, that when you give a hug, you can tell the person that is not used to of being vulnerable, or having, because of a space. It's about their space. Whoa, you're way, way, way too. Well, where's that coming from? Right? Where's that coming from? Is that self-preservation? Is that protecting oneself? So what happened? There's a story there that's undealt with, is all I'm trying to say. You didn't just come out of the thing saying, I don't want to be, you need to be back there. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something, I mean, when you sit there and you think about it, we develop inside of a womb, which is a very small space. You grow inside that. So, do you understand what I'm saying?
Well,
And
I think
I'm sick of being in that small space. You know, don't touch me. No, I don't know too many people that do that. But.
Yeah,
participate.
and Tony's here. Welcome, Tony. And she had a question. Why do people need to hug everyone? And it made me laugh because I think you touched a little bit on this, that sometimes um, touch is a primary love language for many people. They feel loved through physical touch, right? And that's another topic altogether, but I'll just limit it to that. There are different love languages for people. Some like quality time, some like different things, gifts and showing some kind of type of physical manifestation, right? To just showcase your love. Um, but that's can be one reason. Second is um like Hilda mentioned, sometimes we have a hard time being vulnerable. And we should that's another question for ourselves. What is it that we're trying to protect? Because maybe something happened in the past, which is why it becomes a red flag. Third, some people use hugs or touch to regulate their emotions, like to ground themselves. Because like I said, I'm not a touchy person, but that's because of my upbringing. But I am learning now how it actually helps. And how did I found that is when I was going through a really tough time, and it was hard to stay focused, right? I was all in my head. I felt like too much, and I asked for my friend for a hug, and I felt it really helps you regulate your emotions, and that's something you need to try out for yourself. When you're super distracted, chaotic, super chaotic, or you feel a certain way, try touch and see how you feel. And that also depends on the person touching. If they're like, you know what I mean? It really also depends on the person that's offering you touch.
I think we should go back into the chat because people have been putting comments in there. So I want you to go back to
Right. And
the
I
comments.
was getting to that it also sometimes is a culture, like
Yes.
we were talking about. I grew up in a certain culture, and Americans here like to they are very touchy and they love hugs, right? So that's what, and I think Tony is a Brit, so Marie says, I think it depends too on the culture. My family's European and not too touchy, but the Quebec here is what, however that's pronounced. I know she's from Quebec. Here are super affectionate and overly friendly. Interesting. Yeah, it can be a cultural thing too. But what Tony says, what if part of balanced development is exactly that, evolving beyond needing to hug everyone, reserved for your very closest and dearest. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think that it depends from person to person. If you're a very intentional person, you won't like to be touched by everyone, right? Which is understandable. Like when my friends' twins show up, I ask them if I can hug them, which is not a part of my culture. And when my parents were visiting, they were shocked. I'm like, yeah, it's their body. You're supposed to ask them. So if they really want to hug, or you know what I mean? So it's
Brings up,
okay.
it brings up a very good point
It
because
is.
first of all, when I think of I observe before I just leap in because I study a person, and I'll tell you why I say that. Sometimes that whole touch, personal touch, and having somebody being in your personal space, that is
No,
very
you.
often coming from a place of trauma. Meaning that you know what, if you went through any form of rape or violation, then that becomes an issue, and you will need to. So I noticed that. I know I
Yes,
some people just like I don't. I'm very
it
respectful
depends.
because it means that's
It
coming from
depends. Yeah.
absolutely.
And it's
Ab-
okay. And I think it should be okay. Not everyone needs to be a touchy person, but if you can, if you feel um like you have a close knit group of people that you trust and you feel safe around them, do that because it depends from person to person and their experiences.
Absolutely.
We did never want to negate that. No, that's not this is about. Tony says, yeah, I'm not a weight blanket. Yeah, you don't have to. And I think that sometimes, and I'll say that because I lived in both the cultures. India is very influenced still by Britain. Um, and then I moved to America. So there are very different cultures. I think that, and I can talk about it, okay? If you take it personally, I'm sorry, but this is my viewpoint. Um, is that Americans sometimes can be really fake, okay?
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
yes, I said it. We just want to say show that, oh my God, we are so friendly and we are so casual, but people can be really fake here. And so
Hmm.
I completely get it that you would not want to touch everyone, but people hug here all the time, like it's normal thing. Um, so I get it. That's not me either.
No, I will say,
Yeah,
yes, that
it
fake
is.
breakthrough performance.
And
Performance. And going right back to, how are you doing today? "Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good." Because we
yeah,
are,
like what does that mean? What does that mean?
yeah. It means, you know what? Lie your ass off. Lie your ass off. Don't let people see you sweating. Because if they,
That's the thing.
someone might just stomp on you.
Yes. Like I personally at the well, I don't want to discuss my very personal life here, but I have seen that people who have been with you for a long time, and I'm talking America here, can be real fake the whole time. And that is so scary to me. It is. And that's why I think there was a learning curve for me here to see people's actions if they match with their words. And that's the best thing I can recommend to everyone. Look at people's actions and their words. Most of the time, they don't match.
Honey, I think that that has, uh, what you're talking about, it's more than just an American thing. And I don't want to just put that on America because
Yeah, that is true. Well, it's everywhere. I take my
that,
words back. It's everywhere.
I, it's fake ass, phony ass people, and they exist
It
everywhere.
is.
And sometimes they attract their asses to
No,
me.
it's like it's interesting. I said America. I'll tell you why I said America. Because in India, people will show you exactly who they are real quick. They don't pretend. In America, they will pretend for the longest time. That's why I said America. Okay?
Yeah,
Because it's a part of the culture where it's like, oh, when someone sees you, they smile, but they don't really care. And
yeah,
they'll make small talk, but they don't really care. They
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. That is strange
yeah,
and actually scary to me
yeah,
because you don't know what the other person is really because you're faking the whole time.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's why and India, they can be bitchy right on your face and you will know exactly who they are. Actually, I actually respect that more. I like people who are bitchy right on your face
Well, I
because you
think
know who they are.
I like authenticity.
Yeah,
And
like exactly.
authentic. They're going to be present, and they're going to be able to tell you. And if you are aware, because what do I mean by that?
Yeah,
The world is filled, like I said, with performance.
right.
Real people know real people. And right now, I'm looking for the real people. Because if I was to even begin to start focusing on those fake ones, oh my goodness, it'd be
That's true.
time sucking, energy sucking. Because they're
It
everywhere.
does it does require a level of discernment, but I think I don't even know how we got here. How we get here? Like
You know what I like?
Oh yeah, from the hug.
Participate in these discussions. You can be all over the map. We might be in China. I keep wanting to take us to China. Why? I don't know.
I do want to visit China sometime. They did
Mhm.
open borders for Indians, so I'm gonna probably visit. But anyways, I think we were talking about how like hugging can be uncomfortable for a lot of people, and it's okay. It's okay. And it also means that you might be sensing into something fake. Trust yourself.
Right.
Like Hilda was saying, you can sense it sometimes, and if you're uncomfortable, you know why. There's something most probably it's fake. That's what you're tapping into. So do that. Trust yourself.
You know, I want to share an experience. My daughter is like 2 years old, and we're out for a walk, and she just so happens to fall down, and you know, she tripped and fell down, and she says, "Oh, I broke my leg." And I tell you, she's being very, very dramatic, and it wasn't. In looking at it, it wasn't that bad. My whole point being is coming up the way that I came up. I had to really take my mind and change it in that moment. And I bring that up because I really had to go through all those paces in that moment. And in order for me to really meet her where I was at, because that is not what those moments, would, not to say that they didn't happen, but my mother was not present during those moments. So, what my whole point being is, I knew what she needed. I went over there, did did what I needed to do, but going through the whole process, I I listen. I felt myself going through that whole process because of the fact that it's not something that I was um, comfortable with. Am I making sense?
No, not really. Could you repeat that?
Oh, you're not,
I lost you.
you're not going to make me repeat that whole story all over.
Well, maybe you can paraphrase. Sorry.
We were. You weren't even listening to my story. I don't even know if I want to all over
No,
again.
because I think I'm stuck in a loop here, and I can see that there's something. Hold on, let me look at the chat real quick because I think there's something that is stuck in my mind. Okay. Marie says, OMG, like the small talk that gets fake very true, and I can't stand it. Um,
Like that. I
I
hate.
think that I get it. Sometimes you do the small talk because it's sometimes the silence can be too uncomfortable, and that's fine. That's something, oh, it's okay. But when you use that in long-term relationships, that's when I can't bear it, really. Um, Tony says it means none of your business here. Okay. I think she was talking about the hug topic. I think that's cultural, maybe not fake, more civility in manners or politeness in public. Okay. When I say people show who they are, I never endorse rogue behavior. Oh my God, I just hate it. I think that when I say people showing who they are, is their actions match who they are. And maybe they are scary underneath, but you know what I'm saying. And how they express it, I personally don't like rogue and like that blasting behavior, but I would rather their actions match with who they are than that's what I mean by fake, I think.
Yeah.
Um but I don't like people yelling and I have told so many of my family members I stopped talking to them because I'm like, you don't know how to talk. I'm sorry. We can disagree, but we can still be respectful, right? Um Bring back the handshake for greeting others in social wider circles and keep the hugs for your dearest. My ideal world at least. Absolutely. And I don't hug any random person. Per-
No,
Personally, I don't. So maybe I think she has an experience of Americans hugging everyone, but that's definitely not me, at least.
no.
Marie says, I second that. Tony, yes, for handshakes and hugs for loved ones. Absolutely. It's just strange hugging a stranger person. Like you're not in high school or whatever, college. I think that's when we used to do the experiment, this stuff.
When I talk about, you know what, giving hugs, it's not. I'm not talking about just walking up and, you know what, hugging up on somebody. Like, you know what, that would be weird, and I would think that people might look at me like I was a little bit nuts. But there is times in your
Yeah,
correspondence with people that you know, you can have those powerful, impactful moments that, you know, you don't even know the person, you just had a moment, and
right.
before I have left that exchange, it's been uh left with a hug. That's what I'm talking about. Obviously something that was needed, um whether it was for
Mm.
them or was for me, you know, at the time. But it's about that, yeah, and being open. But, you know, that's not to say that, you know, there are people born. We do have a radius thing. Not everybody is an affectionate person. Do you understand? So this conversation, um, um,
Yeah. It's about, I think, realizing what you need. Yeah.
realizing what you need, realizing what you need, realizing what.
Absolutely. It's not about just hanging any Tom, Dick, and Harry, but I think it's about if how physical touch can be conducive when you're going through something difficult, and the other person's touch can actually ground you. And of course, like that touch has to be safe. You need to feel safe. If you're feeling threatened, that's not the point. But I think it's about understanding that it's normal to feel um and also like just tapping like just touching your heart like that or chest. That's the same thing. It's about really feeling the touch. That's what we're talking about here. I'm not sure where this is going, the chat, but that's what we're talking about, like the normal touch. um Miss Charity, welcome. Good afternoon all. Hope your day has been a blessed one. Yes, hope yours has been too. I always ask if someone I always ask if someone hugs before I give or make a move to give a hug. Now, exactly. Um, I did not used to do that before, but um, I have been doing that from kids to adults now because it's their personal space, and unless they're willing to, I don't think anybody owns that space. Um, so absolutely. I'll confess I'm a tree hugger. Marie, me too. Okay? Same. Miss Tarody is a tree hugger too. Okay. Um, Tony says, weirdly, I know a lot of other air signs. They are the least huggy peeps I know on greeting. I'm an air sign too, and I think because we are so logical, we don't just allow anybody. So it makes sense.
You know, I was sitting here and I was thinking, as we were, as you were just expressing, and that is, here's how important touch and its expression is, that the lack of it inside of a relationship, and I'm talking about a union, when there is a lack of that, it will start to break down the relationship. It will send someone inside the relationship searching outside, looking for it. That's how important it is. And we'll walk around many times feeling like, you know what, or not feeling, um, Pretending, pretending, right? We're all right. We all right. That all right becomes a hardened version of yourself. You-
Mm,
It's not really who you are. It's just a hardened version of what you became. And
that's
eventually,
true.
out of order in many ways. So that's the importance of touch, I believe. And
That is
hello,
so true.
Tara D. Hello, Marie Francis. I didn't say hello. Hello, Antoinette. I just said it to everybody. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. I love the fact that you're all engaging too.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
Um, Miss Tarodi says that thank you. It's nice to be welcomed into a beautiful space like this. We appreciate you as well. I've never met a tree that I did not like. I didn't like people, not so much, but trees, love them all.
yeah,
Yeah. Think about this. Animals will go into a major depression if they don't experience some level of touch. They do.
right. That's right. That's
Um, that
that's
is
right.
true, and I think I realized that when I got a cat, and she doesn't care how I feel. She just has to come every evening and take a nap. Or she'll come and take a nap in my comforter, and like that's just they do need touch.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And
So absolutely.
you start to well, if you're cognizant, you have to be cognizant. Um,
Right.
because there's lots of people, and I'm going to speak this, that own pets that are not cognizant. That's because you know what, they own them for their own, I'm going to say, selfish reasons, not realizing that they have emotions and all of that that need
That
to be.
is true. How many times have people are like, "Oh, if it's just a pet," I'm like, "They need attention." You
They
know
do.
that. And I can see the difference just in my cat and I had the other cats that are there in my circle. It's they are like, wow, why is their cat so calm and she's so affectionate? I'm like, it does make a difference. I think that the way you show up and the amount of attention you give them, healthy attention,
Absolutely.
um,
You know what? It's also an equal balance because
it is.
they're
It
there to
is
serve you, but my God, in that service, you know what? All they ask, love me, feed me.
right.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, yeah,
Right.
I think that that's it.
Tony says, don't forget pet owners leave them all day. They aren't seeing others always, so understandably need interactions. That's true, but I got my cat after COVID and I have been at home ever since. So she sees me all day, every day. She still loves my interaction. I mean, not all the time, I think, but she still needs that healthy level of interaction with me. She needs her playtime. And that's really interesting to actually observe. And I
Yeah,
think,
what he's saying, like for working,
yeah,
because
but if you're away, they will need that.
yes, that's
Um, and it's interesting, right? I mean, you can observe that in so many different arenas of your life, like pets is one, but even with kids, if we don't get attention, it's almost like we stop asking for attention. And
right.
I named this particular life like hidden hunger for this specific reason that we all seek comfort, okay? And how are we seeking comfort can be in different ways. Some will like to play video games, or we will have different habits, addictions, patterns, emotional eating, but we are all seeking comfort through that at the end of the day, right? And which is what,
Some people seeking comfort through another being. They're
right?
seeking comfort through a being that they
That's another one.
know. That's a common one. That's not just one. That's a common one, especially today. People are wanting touch, human touch, so bad
And I
that
think it's something to think about. Why are we so repulsed by this? It is interesting to me. I
yeah,
can sense that like trigger in my
yeah,
body when I'm speaking. because it's not normalized. We are taught to be independent. And yes, we're not saying to get codependent with the other person, but that this is about a healthy level of dependency, which is called interdependency in psychology, which is normal. And I think that's what we are talking about here, right?
Y-
Um, Otherwise, I have observed that in myself, I could get caught into over time. I've seen myself getting weird habits. I would binge watch like crazy. All of that was for the same reason. Um, um, like emotional eating. Oh my God, I've done so much emotional eating. If it was 100%, now it's 20%, but you see what I'm talking about. Um, and distracting yourself consistently. That's scrolling, that's the same thing. Or watch, or if you're anything that you're using to bypass, really, you look at the deeper need is what we're talking about here. I think that we might want to start thinking about what is exactly that we are seeking,
Yes.
right? Tony Tony says, yes, you also have a world outside of the home now via internet or social media. What would your pet do? I wonder. Exactly, right? They don't watch any of that, but they still have, I guess, a healthy level of enjoyment in life.
Yeah.
Interesting to think about. Miss Charity, many of us come to YouTube to seek comfort because they don't feel accepted or don't
Yeah.
connect with the people in their immediate lives. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. That is sad, but I think that's something to question about Miss Charity, that if you don't feel accepted by people in your life, maybe they're not the right kind of people. And that's why we have to start seeking people who are like us. Because I think that's what we're talking about. We need to start talking to each other again. We can't just have pets and that's it. That's our life. And I think that whole approach, I feel, is not really helping us if we really look deeper. It's not.
And, at the end of the day, of authenticity to me
Authenticity.
means you mess with me and I mess with you.
Right.
We because we have a mutual respect for one another. And that means you allow me to be me and I allow you to be you. And at the end of
Right.
that exchange, you know what, I'm going to tell you something. For me, there has to be some form of an upliftment too. Because I
That
can,
is the key. Your kind of people.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, I speak listen, Miss Tarot D, let me tell you, and this ain't good, I'm not going to preach on you, because this is not for anybody. But you are looking at something,
Yes.
I tell you right now, that has went through what I call a cut. I just fucking cut a lot of people. Because you know why? For those very reasons. If you know what, if it is not 100%, because I'm all about the authenticity. You don't have to. Not everybody's going to gel with me. Not listen. Not everybody loves me. I got some people that love me and some that hate me. But I want to be around those that love me and want to support me and who accept me. All of the above. That's it at the end of the day. And so that cut,
Right.
look, something drastic at the end of the day, but I'm smiling much brighter because of that cup. That's what I'll say. And
That's
sometimes
true.
you're in a void. Sometimes it means you're in a void until spirit aligns you with the people who are more on your frequency. Sometimes there is a void of being on your own, but
Mhm.
better that than people who are not allowing me to be authentically who I really am. And don't accept me for that either. Am I making sense?
Yeah. Um, and I think that's why the topics that we talk about are really the symptoms of a bigger problem, because most of the time it's not really you. Sometimes it's the environment you're in that's not really helping, the people you're with, the food you're eating, the kind of content you're consuming, what you're feeding in your head. All of that can actually result in something that's not really helping you.
Yeah.
And that's what we want
Yes.
everyone, and including us, to think about, right? Um, all of us are learning and evolving, but it's about learning to question what we know. Also check if it's helping. Sometimes we, like Hilda mentioned before, like we're so used to um, being under pressure that we don't even know how to be without it. So we develop our whole personality and life around it. It might not apply to everyone, but I think it's something to think about, that sometimes we're just so used to staying under pressure and being hardened by life that we forget there's a simple way to do it. There's a better way to live. Um, yeah, just few cents, what I was thinking about.
I was thinking, you know what? And that better way is when I go center, what does that look like? When I center up with myself, what do I feel? How am I experiencing the experience? And if it is not giving me my peace, that's my answer right there. I don't
Right.
know what it is right now. Once I
Yeah,
center and I'm being 100% with myself,
absolutely.
that's important too.
Yeah,
See?
absolutely. That's a major sign. If anything you're doing is not helping you feel a certain sense of peace, it's not right, even if you have been doing it forever. So, but it's hard. It's hard, but that's a path we're talking about, all of us. Um, Life is not just about, yeah. It's sometimes you have to really do the deep inner work to see what is actually real and helping, rather than staying stuck.
That's the
Oh,
that's the that's the
yeah.
journey, isn't it? That's the carrot in the journey.
Yeah, Miss Tardy say, I say to that, authenticity is finding oneself. Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
It's and it's a journey, right? It is a journey.
It
Because
is.
I thought of myself as something completely different 10 years ago versus what I know to be true right now. Changes. Um, what I've learned during my cancer journey is that I don't have the energy anymore. And what energy I do have, I want to spend with real people who I
And,
truly love and love me back. Absolutely.
and
Isn't that crazy how life's biggest challenges actually help us simplify our life so much more, and we actually live so much more through challenges. I'm sorry you went through that, by the way.
to that deep appreciation on what's real. No, it takes you, it centers you. It makes you know that, you know what, fuck, what really matters is me. I matter. I matter. Yeah, yeah, true.
Right.
Very good point, Tara D. Very good point.
Absolutely. I guess you have to know yourself ultimately. Absolutely, Tony. I think that ultimately it's what you will only you can know what you want and what you need at the end of the day, because all of us have our such unique journeys. And so it's just
And remember,
check with
that
yourself.
life is a journey. It's a journey because
Yes.
um, it's unfolding. And what I like yesterday, is the journey's unfolding. It changes. It changes. And I'll say this because I like to say this. I reserve the right to change my mind when new information appears. That keeps me open to the process of change, even inside myself.
Yeah, and that changes. Like Tony is saying that give it 10 years of need, you will repeat that sentence again about not really knowing. Exactly. Because we're
Yeah,
continuously evolving, but it's about authenticity at the end of the day. Again, what exactly, um, not pretending, just staying real, I think is the key. How does that look like? Nobody knows. Absolutely.
because it's going to be something variably different for each person.
Absolutely. Marie says, yes, Hilda, so true. Being your true self will attract those who are on the same frequency. Being authentic is really important.
Yes, Marie. Yes.
Isn't it so relaxing too? Like, how, I think, I don't know about you guys, but like, I live so much of my life just pushing and striving and this and that. You don't know any other way to be. And when you finally learn, oh, life can be much simpler if I can just relax and just be. Oh my God. It's
This,
life changing.
doing this, what we're doing right now, this conversation, this
Yeah.
channel, this is this is only happening because of being real and authentic. I couldn't do
Right.
this if I listen. I could not show up in front of the camera if I could not be real and authentic. It's just that is so
Right.
much who I am. So it has this couldn't take place if I couldn't be that. So that's the importance of real and authentic. And real and authentic lets you have these kinds of conversations because it's going to allow you to be vulnerable. It's going to allow you to be open.
Oh, yeah. It does require um, to be vulnerable. Tony says, yes, life is a sketchbook. You're in charge of drawing tomorrow. Absolutely. And I love that. And this is so much more exciting than believing in a version of this cookie cutter approach of life being life a certain way,
Yeah.
This is much more exciting and fulfilling, right?
Who said this? No.
Tony said it. Tony, beautiful.
Was thinking, yes, good point, Tony. And I'll tell you, it aligns up with Tom Cochran. Life is a highway. I'm gonna ride it all night long. You know what song?
Yeah.
No, you don't know.
Um,
He
don't ask me about
and I know I killed him. I killed it. Oh my god, I killed it. Listen,
it
that
was
was a
so good. Um,
fucking
maybe
theme
we
that
should
I'm talking about.
maybe we should let you sing sometime because you play guitar as well. I would
Yes,
love to have a live concert.
that would be. Oh my goodness, that might be something to say. But I don't play that well. I don't play well. I don't.
It's
I don't.
okay.
But I would still do it. Oh, I would do it.
It's okay. Yeah, I would love that. It's fun. Sounds fun. Maybe think about it. Um, Miss Tardy says, but let's remember when we look back with grace and understanding that who we were was who we were meant to be at that time and no regrets. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yes. Beautiful. Grace to ourselves is real self love. That requires um, being a parent to yourself. You're like, okay, you did what you could, it's okay. You did great.
Do
Like
you?
I keep telling myself these days, good job. Good job of me.
Yes. Yeah. You know, I don't know whether I was talking to you. I think it was you. And we were talking, and I said I wouldn't change a thing. Looking back, and I look at my life and all the experiences, and some of them were, what? Listen, the most learned from experiences were the most horrific ones. Okay, and I wouldn't take one of them away because that's what's who's in front of you today. So why would you? Yeah, they
Right.
were all.
They
I
do.
on for all of them for a reason, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I think that if you can somehow metabolize the human experience, because it will make you a certain way, feel a certain way, but then if you can get past it, I think it all makes sense. It all comes together. But don't skip the human part,
You
please.
know, well, that's the thing right there. It's the learning comes from the human part. The human
Right.
part. The learning comes.
It is. That gives you grace, I think, when you feel like, oh, okay. I sucked at this, but that's exactly what I wanted needed to be, and it's okay. You know, that's when you come to
It's
acceptance,
loving it,
right?
man.
Tony says, "Oh, we all need to go live in Denmark, 30-hour working weeks. Yes, please." Right? Anyways, people do work this much only. I don't think people work 40 hours. That's just crazy. I'm just saying. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I agree with you, Tony. We should have less working days or hours rather. Even days. I think they have I think one country had like 3 or 4 working days. I'm not even sure. I
Listen,
would
you
love that.
made a post. You put out a post today, and it was about
Yeah, the
the
jobs.
yeah, the working a child, what starts working and about when they start working starts off at 16 and then it doesn't end until about 65. So all of their life, all most of their life they spend working. So, you know,
Yeah.
highlight the fact that there's something wrong with that.
It
There's
is.
stuff about that, folk.
Yeah. Think I shared this shot today. It was about the jobs that we do, and it is something to think about. Um, if what you're doing is exactly that makes you, I know we need money, but then does it satisfy you in all fronts, right?
Because I want to bring up a point. I want to bring up a point because we were talking. The point was about the importance of human touch.
Right.
When the family started to disband because mama and daddy were out working, because now we required that, it didn't leave a lot of time for that either. Instead, you know what? There was a whole latchkey uh, generation that came from the industrialized, you know, uh,
Mm,
generation, right? So factoring into when you're looking at um, from a global standpoint and how we've
right.
been right for our community,
Yeah, that's something it's like it's a symptom of something bigger, and that's what the initiative was, to start thinking about things that
right?
way, because when you just cure the symptom, it does not solve the problem. I think
So,
we, as today's culture is really about solving the symptom and get away, but sometimes it's a bigger pattern. But yeah, something to think about. Marie votes for live karaoke. I also vote. You got 2 votes already. Um, oh,
yes,
Tony voted too. Yep, all night long. So we got 3 votes already,
we
Hilda.
we need to do this. We need to do this, folks. We
I
need
would
to.
love that. Even my bad choices were a hell of a lot of fun, though, Miss Tarody says.
Yes,
It is.
yes. You know,
Yeah. That's why I don't want to go back, because I am very good here. Yeah. You know, I don't want to go back. Tony says 4-day work week. Oh, that's yes, 4-day work week. I think it's in Sweden.
yes,
Tony
yeah,
says we left school at 16 and then out to work.
yeah,
That is crazy to me, but
yes.
that's the norm. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, this has been a good discussion. But then again,
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. I know whenever I'm having a discussion with you, girl, I know it's going to be live and popping, and at some, I never know where it's going to go, But you know what? I like that too.
It's
It's
always a surprise.
exciting. You guys are so appreciated. I appreciate you. I want you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your presence. Yeah. And your comments and everything. We
Yes.
loved it. I loved it. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to add, Hilda? We'll let
I'm
folks go.
that. You know what? I think I can say this, that next Friday, you're gonna come over on uh my channel, which is uh, Nova Scotia's Organic to the Land. And I want to say that, and I'm going to say this during this live. One of us are going to be showing up in a new location, and I'm not going to tell you what I said it's going to be. So, so what I'm telling you is that, you know, um, get get prepared for some changes. We are still going to be coming and bringing these topics and these conversations. You are appreciated. But next week we are going to be over on Nova Scotia's Organic to the Land, and the same time Friday. This time, the topic we are we don't know that yet.
We don't know that yet, but if you have any ideas, please feel free to comment. We would love to
Like a talk,
research and talk
yeah,
about it. Yeah,
yeah.
talk about it.
So
Yeah.
I gotta say thank you again, and thank you to everybody in the chat. And don't forget to hit the like button and share this and subscribe if you're the first time. Yeah, I'm saying all that because you know what? Listen, we know this. It helps with the algorithm because you know what?
Yes.
There's a need for these conversations, and so yeah, I say share it. Share it. It is share worthy. So
I
when you
was
it helps the
absolutely. I was just laughing at Miss Tarly's comment, not at your uh, words. It She just said it's going to be me. I'm moving to Canada to escape this American craziness.
there you go. There you go. There you go. Oh, you keep it going there, Taro D. That's it. You keep them guessing. Keep them guessing, Taro D. Keep them guessing. I love it.
Oh, good night, Tony. Take care. Thank you for being here. Thanks, everyone. This was so pleasant. Thanks for your presence, Mary. Thank you. Thanks, Miss Tardy. And thank you, Hilda, so much. I really appreciate you. And we'll see you again, all of you. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.